House Republicans have a lot of work to do before Memorial Day. That's the self-imposed deadline to pass President Trump's so-called Big Beautiful Bill. They'll need to smooth over some serious party divisions to advance the plan to the Senate.
We got a few issues to resolve, but we're working with all the interested parties to do that, and I'm confident that we will.
This bill is extremely important for Republicans to get passed. It includes President Trump's top priorities, from the border, from his promises about energy, to even taxes, no tax on tips, extending his tax cuts from his first administration.
The One Big Beautiful Bill Act is ordered.
The bill cleared a key hurdle late Sunday and could reach the House floor within days, although the party is grappling with disagreements over Medicaid, clean energy tax breaks, and budget deficits.
One or two members hold a ton of power and leverage. Speaker Johnson can only lose 3 votes, and this bill is so important to the president, the party, that a lot is resting on him. There's this tension in the party of where to both enact President Trump's tax priorities, extending his tax cuts from his first administration, but also including spending cuts.
The current proposed bill would increase projected budget deficits by nearly $3 trillion through 2034. It includes several $100 billion in spending increases on border security, national defense, and support for farmers.
You've seen this internal fight over Republicans who wanted to focus more on taxes and argue that that would bring in revenue, and deficit budget hawks who wanted to do $1.5 trillion to $2 trillion in spending cuts.
Some conservative hardliners want to accelerate spending cuts along with a quicker expiration of President Biden's clean energy tax breaks.
The House Budget Committee had a meeting where essentially they were doing last-minute scrambling, closed-door negotiations with 4 conservative holdouts on the committee who took issue with a few different things about the bill. They don't like a delayed phase-in for certain elements related to work requirements when it comes to able-bodied people on Medicaid, similarly kicking off illegal immigrants from receiving Medicaid checks.
And if we would reform Medicaid, we could actually get to the core of the problem. But we refuse to do it. And I'm not going to sit here and say that everything is hunky-dory when this is the Budget Committee.
We don't really know what was promised behind closed doors. Chip Roy on social media, one of those 4 holdouts, suggested that they were going to be moving up the Medicaid work requirements. Republicans argue that the program for Medicaid might not be sustainable moving forward. The Medicaid defenders, some of them have argued to me that kicking off people with low income from Medicaid would just kind of be cruel, and it would impact them heading into the midterm elections. Democrats are hitting the message that they are kicking off people off of Medicaid, taking their health care.
The American people do not support this extreme and toxic bill. And we're going to hold every single House Republican who votes for it accountable.
Once the House succeeds in getting this bill passed, it's off to the Senate. And there's a lot of sort of questions about what the Senate will ultimately do with this bill in terms of pulling back on certain Medicaid provisions. There seems to be less of an appetite in terms of spending cuts in the Senate GOP than there is in the House GOP. I think that you're about to see, which is not unusual, a clash between the Senate and the House before the bill eventually reaches the president's desk. There is one person who can hold a lot of sway, and that is President Trump. A lot of Republicans in the party think that this is their one big shot for the one big beautiful bill. We're waiting to see how this week unfolds as they sprint to the finish line.